Hello, in this video I will be going over basic postulates in geometry. So those postulates are just linear pair postulate, segment addition postulate, and segment subtraction postulate, and then angle addition postulate and angle subtraction postulate. These postulates are very common and throughout geometry, and knowing these very well can help you do better in certain topics. So we'll just take a look and give examples for some of these postulates. So our first one will be linear pair postulate. So linear pair postulate. So to actually truly understand linear pair postulate, you have to understand what a linear pair is. So a linear pair is just two lines, that is two angles that come together to form 180 degrees. So, and form a supplementary line. So basically, if we're taking a look at our diagram here, we have 4 different angles, right? But the angles that form a linear pair will be angles 1 and angles 2, because angle 1 plus angle 2, that'll create 180 degrees. So as you can see here, I'll just highlight it. So as you can see here, these two create an entire line. If we just imagine we just take away that line, those two come together to create one full entire line, right? And we can do the exact same. So 2 and 3. So you've got angle 2 and angle 3. If those come together, we've got 2 and 3. We'll just take away that line, and that creates an entire angle. And the same goes for 3 and 4. We just take away that angle, and this entire thing comes together, and same with 1 and 4. See? So that's what a linear pair is. So using that information, we can easily solve what a linear pair postulate is. So we'll just take one example for a linear pair postulate. We'll just do like one line like this, and then one intersecting like that, and then we'll create 4 different angles. So angle 1, angle 2, angle 3, and angle 4. And now we're given a certain amount of information. So what we're given angle 1 is equal to 2x plus 75, and angle 4 is equal to 3x minus 20. Now, and it's asking us to find x. So the first way that you have to solve one of these equations is plug in the information you're given. So we'll just put angle 1 as 2x plus 75 and 3x minus 20. So now, as you remember from our linear pair explanation, angles 1 and angle 4 come together. You have to ask yourself whether angle 1 and angle 4 come together in order to create an entire supplementary line. In this scenario, they do. So 1 and 4, they would come together to create one full line. Just imagine we take away this entire line. This 1 and 4 creates a full line. So that means we know they're linear pairs. And if we take those two angles together, that creates 180. So our next step will be 2x plus 75 plus 3x minus 20 is equal to 180. So now we'll just add like terms. So we've got 3x plus 2x, 5x. 75 minus 20, that'll be 55, plus 55 is equal to 180. And then you just isolate x, so minus 55, we've got 5x is equal to 125, divide by 5, x is equal to 25. So we have x equal to 25. So the only actually confusing part about this postulate is that you have to know when it's a linear pair and to know that you have to set it to 180 and 180. So that's all it is. Next, we'll be looking at segment addition postulate and segment subtraction postulate. Those two kind of go together, so we'll be looking at them at the same time. So now these are the segment addition postulates and segment subtraction postulate. So these basically go hand in hand. These are pretty similar. So we'll just take a quick example of what segment addition postulate is. So, well, first off, you have to know what a segment is. That's just a line that has two ending points. So we'll just take an example. So for segment addition postulate. So segment addition postulate just goes, let's create a segment here. And we have to have another dot in the center. And we're given labels. So this is M, N, and O. Those are our three different points on the line. And we do not know whether MN is equivalent to NO. We do not know that. But what we are given is we're given the length of MN, which is, so MN is equal to 18. NO is equal to 1/2 x plus 10, and MO is equal to 4x minus 7. MO is equal to 4x minus 7. So let's go ahead and immediately plug that in. So 18, 1/2 x plus 10, and this entire thing is going to be 4x minus 7. Now, what you have to know is that this is pretty simple, except you just have to know that MN plus NO is equal to MO. I mean, if you think about it logically, it makes sense. Like, MN is part of the line, and NO is the other part of the line. So when you take both of those parts together, it'll create the entire line. So that would be MN plus NO is MO. So, and the only actual step to this postulate is you have to take your information that you're given. So you're given MN, you're given NO, and you have to set those both equal to, you have to add them and set them equal to MO. So just an example is just, so let's just go ahead and solve. So it would just be 18, which is MN, plus 1/2 x plus 10, which is NO, is equal to 4x minus 7. And then we just solve for x. And then we just solve for x. Also, I forgot to tell you, this problem is asking us to find x. So all we got to do to find x is just add like terms. So that just becomes 28. So 28 plus 1/2 x is equal to 4x minus 7. Plus 7, plus 7. That gets, and then we also do minus 1/2 x, minus 1/2 x. So that means you'll get 35 is equal to 4x minus 1/2 x. So that means you get 35 is equal to 7 over 2x. And then you just divide by 7 over 2. And once you've divided and done the reciprocal and switched it, all you got to do is, and that'll give you your x value. So the x value is equal to 10. The x is equal to 10. That's our answer. So now, segment subtraction postulate is basically the exact same thing, except the only difference is coming from its name. Instead of adding MN plus NO, all you're doing is subtracting. So you're given MO and you're given MN and NO. So all you're doing is you're just basically subtracting. So you're doing MO minus MN, and that will give you NO. And it works vice versa, so MO minus NO gives you MN. So these two postulates go hand in hand, and they're very simple to memorize. And just if you think about it logically, it'll make sense. So we'll take a look at two more that also go together, which will be the two angle postulates. So angle addition postulate and angle subtraction postulate. So it's very similar to this, except it's dealing with angles instead of segments. So just take a quick look at that. So these are just angle addition postulate and angle subtraction postulate. Just if you know the segment, if you understand the segment addition postulate, it's basically the exact same thing. So we'll just draw an example. So we've got an angle here. So this is an angle. And what we're given in the scenario, we have one huge line. We have one huge line cutting through this angle. Okay? And we have two different labels for this angle. We have angle 1 and angle 2 because that one big angle has now split into two parts. And in angle addition postulate, we're given, what we're given is, so we know that, let me actually label this. So W, X, and then Y and Z. So those are our four different spots. And what we know is that W, so W, sorry, let me just label this a little differently. So we'll do X over here and W over there. And what we know is that WXY, so WXY is congruent, that's the congruent sign, is congruent to, sorry, not a line, is congruent to angle YXZ. So YXZ. That's what we know. And now, what else we're given is WXY is equal to minus X plus 25, and YXZ is equal to 3X plus 17. So, and now we're asked to find, so find WXZ. WXZ. So we're given our two separate angles. So let's split those and so those split apart angles, and we'll just plug them in really fast. So WXY, we know it's the top one, so that would be minus X plus 25, and YXZ, that is 3X plus 17, and it's asking us to find that really big angle, so WXZ. Now, it's just like segment addition postulate, where these two parts, angles 1 and angle 2, those two parts are just split apart to create WXZ. So angle 1 is one of the parts, and angle 2 is the other part. So if you add those two parts together, they will create a bigger whole. So that's basically what this is about. So it's giving us that WXY is congruent to YXZ. So now that since we know that, all we have to do is set angle 1 and angle 2 equal to each other, because this is just angle 1 and angle 2. So angle 1 is congruent to angle 2. So we'll do that right now. So minus X plus 25 is equal to 3X plus 17. And all you need to do after this is just solve for X, and then sub it in to solve for WXZ. I'll let you do that on your own. And angle subtraction postulate, just same thing, except you're just subtracting. Be sure to subscribe and leave a comment, and be sure to watch out for future videos. Thank you.